What's
There
up,
he
man?
is.
How you doing?
I'm well. How are you guys?
Good. Dakota, why don't you do it? You want to do the question?
Yeah,
All
I
right, go
think
for it.
I think this one's pretty interesting. We'll see. Barry from El Cajon asks, which firearm introduced in 1869 was the first metallic cartridge bolt action rifle adopted by a major military power, revolutionizing infantry tactics with its rapid fire capability and influencing European rifle designs for decades?
We should, you know what we should start doing? We should start taking bets. Like after you read the question,
Yeah,
we should start placing bets.
I think we also could start with less info. Like, I feel like we could have just asked him which firearm was introduced in 1869 and make him list all the ones he knows.
Make it even harder. All right.
Sam, do you
What do
have
you
a
got?
you
Yeah.
have a guess for
Who,
us?
who is that? Who wrote in Barry or Mary
Barry with a B.
with a B? Okay,
Mm-hmm.
Barry from El Cajon. Thanks for writing in. What firearm introduced in 1869 was the first? Was it the first?
Metallic
First,
cartridge
yeah,
bolt
first
action
metallic
rifle.
cartridge bolt action rifle fielded by a major military power. That's a really tough question. That's one of the okay, they're all tough questions because it's either you know the answer or you don't. Um, but it is a good one. So 1869. See, I would have wanted to say, hmm, I would have wanted to say the Gewehr 71, but that's anachronistic. So, ooh, is it?
Oh man.
Is it the Chassepot? I
Is
don't
that your final
don't
answer?
don't say anything. Don't say anything yet. I'm trying to think. Ooh, this is tough. First metallic cartridge bolt action rifle used by a major military power.
Yeah. Revolutionizing infantry tactics.
Revolutionizing infantry tactics. So the bolt action distinction is important because metallic cartridges were already used. The metallic cartridge distinction, like for example, the trapdoor Springfield is earlier and uses metallic cartridges, but it's a single shot, not bolt action. It's a tilting block type action. The metallic cartridge distinction is important because Dreyse needle fire rifles were bolt action but used paper cartridges. I guess you could kind of consider that a form of caseless ammunition if you wanted. But combining the two, mm, it's not the Gras. I think the Gras came later. Maybe it is the Gras. I'm gonna say the Chassepot. If I say the Chassepot, it'll be the Gras. If I say the Gras, it'll be the Chassepot, or it'll be some Belgian thing from, I don't know, Leon Nagant or something that I've never heard of. Gosh, this is tough. I'm gonna say it's the Gras French 11
That,
millimeter.
wait a minute. That's your final answer?
That's my final answer. I know it's wrong, but that's my final answer.
Here's what's funny,
I think we
audience.
need to fact check ourselves. We need to fact check our answer. I
Well,
don't know
maybe.
if we're right.
Well, but, so here's what's funny though, is that through while you were going through all the possibilities, you got the right answer.
Yeah.
And you could tell that Dakota and I were both trying to keep a poker face. Because if we were like, blah, then we would have totally given it away. Maybe we do need to fact check this. Okay,
He
let's.
said, yeah, I mean, he sounds like he knows
I
more
know,
about the
right?
gun than we do.
More confidence. So tell us everything you know about the Dreyse needle gun.
So the Dreyse is really interesting. It used a paper cartridge, and the reason it was called a needle fire rifle or a needle gun isn't like it's we're not talking science fiction technology here. It isn't shooting needles. The firing pin is a needle. So the way it works is imagine a typical round of ammunition. You go to the gun store, you buy a box of ammo. Imagine your typical round, fixed ammunition in a brass case or steel case if it's some Comblock surplus. You have that drawn brass cartridge case that contains the gunpowder, and there's a primer in the base, and then there's a bullet sticking out the front. A paper cartridge is kind of like that, or was kind of like that, except the bullet was contained, everything was contained all together within a rolled paper capsule. So if you can imagine,
Like
kind
a
of like a
cigarette.
cigar.
Yeah.
Yeah, a cigar or like, well, smaller, so like a cigarillo, I guess. I don't smoke, so I don't know the proper terminology for that. Um, But yeah, imagine like a small cigar. Everything is wrapped up inside paper, including the
Okay.
primer.
So let's get it. Dakota, you want to read?
You want me to read it?
Yeah, read.
Well,
Here's
wait,
what they
I'm
say.
not done.
Oh, okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
The dry C needle fire rifle was so called because the firing pin consisted of a needle which punctured the rear end of that paper cigar-like cartridge to impact the primer inside the paper cartridge, which would detonate it, which would ignite the gunpowder and propel the bullet down the barrel. And also the paper, because it's flammable, would ideally be fully consumed. There are some engineering problems with that I won't get into because it's a longer discussion, but that's why it was called that.
So we Dakota and I both think that Barry from El Cajon is wrong.
Yeah, I did a little research while you were talking, and I think we need to figure out some kind of a prize or something whenever whenever Sam is correct.
Well,
We're wrong
I
on
don't
our
know.
own
Maybe
show.
Ricey invented a metallic cartridge rifle too. Let me open a search engine and look it up.
All right. Well, here's what
Well,
we're gonna do.
yeah, I'll read the answer that
Go
we
ahead, read the
have,
answer,
and then
yeah.
we can talk about what we found in the little research we just did. The answer that Barry gave us was a somewhat obscure firearm that predates more famous bolt-action rifles. The Dreyse needle gun used by Prussia was a pioneering design that introduced the bolt-action mechanism and metallic cartridges, significantly impacting military strategy in the 19th century. Now, I know anyone can write anything on Wikipedia, so this isn't necessarily the best place to go for facts, but while you were talking, I looked it up on Wikipedia, and it does appear to say paper cartridge pretty much anywhere that cartridges are discussed in the Dreyse conversation.
Yeah, no. The Dreyse needle gun never used a metallic cartridge. It employed a unique self-contained cartridge made of paper and other materials.
Yeah.
Barry, you were wrong, sir. You get nothing.
You didn't stump the nephew, but you did
Yeah.
kind of stump all of us here for a second.
No kidding. Come on, Barry.
Maybe we need to start checking the answers.
Oh, jeez. This is more
So
fun.
funny.
It's more fun when we don't.
Yeah,
All
when
right.
we figure it out on our.
Well, there you go. You figured. You may actually be right about the.
Yeah, we don't know the actual answer.
We don't know
to
the
this
answer, but we do
question.
know that the needle gun, the Dreyse needle gun, was not metallic.
the answer,
It
yeah.
was not.
Does that mean Barry has to get me a hat or a shirt?
Yeah, Barry. Right?
I like that. We'll do
Yeah,
that.
send us a hat. I don't even care what hat it is, but you owe us a hat. You owe Sam a hat.
We should.
It's a good question though. I didn't. Well, I don't know that I got the answer. I'll have to look that up. I guess that'll have to be my homework assignment.
That's your homework. All right.
So I guess we call this one a draw because
No,
I'm not sure if my answer was correct, but I know his answer wasn't.
You win, Barry loses. Hey, thanks for watching Gun Owners Radio. I hope you loved that clip. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, and follow us on social media. And check out our website at gunownersradio.com.